Salve, salve galera! Estamos aqui no estúdio do motorsport.com Interlagos, cobertura especialíssima das 6 horas de São Paulo do Campeonato Mundial de Endurance, campeonato que volta ao Brasil pela primeira vez desde 2014, e estamos aqui com um piloto que esteve na última etapa do WEC no Brasil. Brendon, nice to have you here. It's a big pleasure to have a chat with you. Third time in Brazil then?
Yes, yeah, first time 2014 with the Porsche LMP1 car. I think it was I don't know if it was the first time the WEC came here, but it was anyway the last time that
Quite a
WEC
while
was
ago
here.
already.
Yeah, a long time ago. And then I came in 2018 with Formula 1. So yeah, a few visits here. It's a track I really enjoy. It's always been a good crowd. I remember even in 2014 with the WEC, we had a good crowd. So I'm expecting that there's going to be a few seats here and great atmosphere. The people seem very passionate about motorsport here. And this year we've got more competition than ever, so I'm expecting a tough race, and hopefully we can put on a big show for all the fans out there. What I do find tricky here, and I have a very bad memory of Mark Webber having a big crash here in 2014, and also his time in Formula 1 and Jaguar. I don't remember the...
Yeah, I believe it was 2003, if I'm not wrong.
It could be. But I was teammates with Mark Webber in 2014 when he had a massive shunt on the back straight here. This part I find... It's tricky because it's not really straight. You know, you have this flat out section with these few kinks. So getting through traffic there has to be a bit of mutual respect from both, both the car being passed and the one being doing the overtaking. And you have to have a good read of the situation. Has he seen you? Is it okay? Is he going to leave me a bit of space? So this kind of brings a bad memory because Mark had such a big crash there. It was a bit scary. I remember going and seeing him and being airlifted to hospital. And so yeah, there's some dangers. It's always the case, and it's going to be busy. But I think when everyone gets into a routine and you start, everyone has a good level of respect for each other, and you kind of get in a routine of where it's okay to overtake, and it's the same for the GT cars being overtaken. They get a bit of a feel and where to leave room, and it starts to flow and should be okay.
Okay, Guilherme?
Brendon, you are a veteran of WEC, and you saw the both eras of the championship so far, the LMP1 and now the hypercar. How do you see the moment of the championship? Because we're talking about 14 manufacturers on the grid today compared to difficult times that there were towards the end of LMP1. 14 between both classes.
Okay. No, I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't kind of count them up.
And
I ran out of my hands. I needed the totals as well. So.
Bringing to our audience here, of course, we follow WEC and so on, but mainly Brazilians are focused on Formula 1. You are a former Formula 1 driver and a lot of former F1 drivers. So the grid is very good as well. It's a good momentum moment, actually, and the series carries a good momentum from last year as well. Do you see?
Yeah, not amazing. I mean, I was lucky enough to be in the LMP1 era as well, which I do think was an amazing time. The cars were like spaceships at that moment. There was even a season where we were almost doing the same lap times as Formula 1.
Yes.
Then Formula 1 started going quicker with the new regulations.
We made a video about a comparison of lap times. And
and that was a special time with big budgets and these, as I said, kind of these rocket ships. Now we have a series with BOP, but what it means is we've got amazing competition. As you just said, 14 different manufacturers, and in hypercar, seeing so many cars on the grid with all professional drivers and top quality teams and manufacturers. It's unbelievable, and I think we saw some spectacular racing already this year, particularly Le Mans as well. It is an exciting time to be an endurance driver, and yeah, as you say, I've been lucky to see both. But these cars are still quick. Don't get me wrong; they're not as quick as what I experienced in LMP1, but they're still fast and exciting, and we're seeing great racing. So yeah, I don't know if I've sold the dream well, but it's really a special time to see all the level of drivers on the list.
Yes.
I mean, okay, you spoke about Formula 1. There's many ex-Formula 1 drivers. I mean, I guess you can say we're has-beens from Formula 1, many of us, but I mean, it's a seriously impressively competitive field, both from manufacturers and teams, but also drivers. There's no weak links in any of these teams.
And not just former F1 drivers, but endurance specialists, Brazilians including.
Yes,
but
a few Brazilians as well.
You raced the 2018 Formula 1 Grand Prix here.
Yes.
Memories from that race, Brendon?
Toro
Rosso, still called Toro Rosso back then.
yeah. I'm trying to remember my race. I didn't score points. I remember having some. I was very close with Gasly at one point. I don't remember if I was just in front or just behind. But I mean, I have a good experience of driving a Formula 1 car around here. I mean, it's the pinnacle. Even sometimes when I watch back onboards from myself and qualifying, whatever it is, it feels like fast. Feels like it's on fast forward. I feel very privileged to do that season. But on every track I go to, it does. Yeah, just going back and watching the videos, it was an amazing experience. But I don't have any specific memories from the race weekend, to be honest with you.
And
it's all a bit of a blur.
Memories from the country, food, music, football.
I'm definitely a carnivore, so I enjoy my meat. So yeah, churrascaria is always the topic. Actually, our whole team went there last night. I arrived a bit late, so I missed the big dinner. But I'm sure we're going to have some more time to have some good food. I love the fruit here as well.
Yes.
Tastes a bit different. It's fresh, like the mango, and actually I don't know all the names of the different fruit. Even the pineapple tastes somehow different from what I'm used to. But yeah, I would say the meat and the fruit is something, particularly the fruit. I feel like it's different from what I'm having in Europe. Even if it's sometimes the same fruit, it tastes different.
Yes, different kind of the same fruit. Yeah. You have any other questions?
Let's take a little bit more on your experience. How does it compare to drive a World Endurance Championship car, a hypercar, to your former experience in Formula 1? Explain to our viewers how different it is.
We have a roof over our head. That's maybe the first topic. So
is it good or bad for you?
It's funny, you get used to it because
there's the heat.
Yes, I mean it can get pretty hot on an F1 car as well. The thing is, I grew up in single seaters, and then I got used to having the roof over my head, and then going back to Formula 1 was very weird. Then having the wind buffeting and the helmet being flying all over the place.
And you started in the WEC. The first spell, was it 2012?
2014 was with Porsche, but yeah, I did one or two races in 2012.
And then you come back.
But that was an open cockpit car.
You come back to the single seaters already in Formula 1 after quite a while.
After my stint in Porsche,
yes,
had a bit of an amazing story that I managed to get back to Formula 1 after racing endurance. So my path to Formula 1 was
not traditional, to
not
say
very
the least.
traditional.
You actually won the title that year and went straight to Formula 1, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was 2017 I won. Actually, I think I won Petit Le Mans, the Dubai 24-hour. I did a GT race. I won Le Mans 24-hour, the WEC. And I'm not saying that it was all because of me. It's just, sometimes you have those years where all the stars aligned.
Yes.
And at the end of the season, Porsche was pulling out of WEC, which was a big shock and sadness. And then all of a sudden, this opportunity came up to go to Formula 1, which I never dreamt or imagined would happen at that moment in my career. So no, it was a pretty special story. But to go back to your question, how is it different? Okay, the roof is over your head. I guess the fundamentals of getting the most out of a race car don't really change. What it takes as a driver to be as quick as possible doesn't change much. The car's a bit slower, it's a bit heavier, a bit less downforce. I think the difference in endurance racing is managing the risk, dealing with GT traffic, corner after corner, weighing up that risk and reward. It's very important, and I think with experience that it comes a bit easier. As a young fella, you sometimes go for those gaps that didn't really make sense, putting both cars at risk, or even things like sometimes showing the nose to a GT car. They're still going to turn in, but you both end up losing time. It's having that experience to kind of, okay, you know what, I'm not going to take the risk on this particular one. Yes, I need to take the risk now. It's a big part of the job. And also understanding who's in the car, have they seen me, kind of understanding they're kind of communicating with how they're driving as well. And so that's a big difference, the style of racing. But believe me, we are flat out. We talk about 6-hour race here, but 24 hours at Le Mans, I can assure you that we're pushing these cars flat out for 24 hours or 6 hours here. But it's just in the traffic, it's about managing that risk and reward, because one crash, you let your whole team down, you let your teammates down. That's the other point. You have teammates, which is something that I really enjoy. Becomes a bit less selfish. You're working as a team.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah. Is it too different, the way you manage the race and taking care of the car and so on?
Not so much taking care of the car, but off the track, working with teammates is a very different. It feels very different.
To kill your teammate,
Yeah, of course you want to be. We have some egos, but you have to suppress the ego. It's important for the greater good of the team.
Yes.
Because we have to respect each other enough that one day I'm going to be the quickest guy in our car. One day it's going to be Ryo. One day it's going to be Seb. They're my other two teammates. And when you're having a great day, and it's your job, actually, part of the job is to figure out how you can help your teammate who's maybe one or two. I mean, there's never much between us, but you're trying to work together to find the optimal lap time, which is interesting. And sometimes we'll see that there's just one corner, one driver's doing an amazing job, but normally, in Formula One, you're not really going there trying to help your teammate find the last. So working as a team creates a team spirit, and it's a different feeling when you win the race together as a team.
You win and lose together.
Yes, yeah. And has some extra responsibility as well when you feel like you're more part of a team, I'd say.
Nice. Brendon, do you still follow Formula One?
Yeah,
I still have the race in a couple of months here.
Yeah, I mean, look, I watch most of the races. I still follow, yeah. So I probably watch other sports more, but I still follow.
Relationship with Brazilian drivers, I don't know if the season you raced in Formula One, the first season, 2017, we still had Felipe Massa, if I'm not wrong, on the grid.
Yes, because he came back that year.
So you come to Brazil, you have any Brazilian...
Yeah, I just caught up with Nelson Piquet Jr. in the pit lane, Rubens Barrichello. Yeah. Actually, I met Rubens for the first time here in 2014. He was a good friend of Mark Webber's, so we caught up then. And actually, I raced with Rubens in the Daytona 24-hour.
Didn't know that.
Possibly 2016, 2017. I don't remember which year. I did the Daytona 24-hour with Rubens, which was a great experience. He's what impresses with he's a great character, and what I found impressive with him is his motivation has not slowed down at all. He's a racer. He's pushing, and obviously he's getting older. But he was awesome teammate. I don't remember what year that was actually. It might have even been 2019. You can have a look. I've raced with Pipo Derani. I've been in the same team as him a couple of times over the years. I also bumped into Christian Fittipaldi before. I was in a team with him as well in IMSA. We were chatting about mountain biking. He likes mountain biking. I love mountain biking too. So we were chatting for about 15 minutes down there about mountain biking in New Zealand. So yeah, I know a few of the guys, but yeah, in my time in WEC, there's been many Brazilians on the grid. I was just thinking about it.
Lucas de Grassi.
Yeah.
And we have an invitation for you, Brendon. You have to come to race in the Brazilian stock cars. Rubens is racing in Nelson as well.
He was just explaining how his son as well was racing, which I found quite funny.
Yeah, winning races already.
Yeah, he said he's won one. He said Rubens said he didn't win one yet, and his son already won one, which must make you proud and annoyed at the same time. But,
it's quite funny because Rubens is the 2022 stock car champion, and he's now behind his son in the championship standings.
Which is beautiful, actually. That's nice.
Brendon, I'd like to thank you a lot. It was a nice chat.
Cool.
Good luck in the race.
Yeah, thanks guys. Have a good weekend. Cheers.
Pessoal, entrevista com o Brendon Hartley. Teremos muitas mais estúdios do motorsport.com aqui nas 6 horas de São Paulo. Acompanhem que vem coisa boa por aí.